Hello. Welcome to the next webinar of Strong Women in IT. Strong Women in IT is a global community dedicated for women in tech. Every month, we talk with different wonderful women about the future of business and technologies. Today, we are going to talk about future of business with AI, because after ChatGPT was launched in November last year, it is such an interesting topic. There's so many articles, webinars, discussions, gossips, and speculations how the world will change after such a project was launched. Today, we invite you great speakers, our strong women in IT who perfectly know how to talk about AI, how to explain it in simple words, and how to put the idea into practice. So I am so happy and honored that today we have Raluca, Vice President of Sales of DRUID AI. Hello, Raluca.
Hi, Anita. It's really nice to be here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for agreeing to being with us. And Margie from TD SYNNEX, AI Lead Business Development Manager. Hello, Margie.
Hello, thank you for having me here.
So, Raluca, could you tell us more about what are you doing in DRUID AI? What is DRUID AI? What are you doing? Because you have even in your name of the company AI. So, what exactly stands behind your project company?
Sure. So the innovation that DRUID AI brought to the stage 5 years ago when we launched the company is a conversational platform that allows our customers to basically build and automate via conversational, so via virtual assistants, processes that will take out the tedious and repetitive things and processes from their daily life and improve it as much as possible. So with DRUID, we are combining all kinds of AI tools. You mentioned ChatGPT, so we are integrated with ChatGPT in order to increase the accuracy of the answers that the chatbot is offering. And we are doing that for both internal processes, so whatever, because you're saying that it needs to be very easy to understand. We're all employees in our companies, so every time when we want to take a vacation, it will be much easier to take it via a virtual assistant. So this is what we're doing. We're doing HR, sales, operations, finance department. So we digitalize everything that is possible, but also the relationship with the final customer. So anything that is related to customer support and experience, we're handling with our platform. So this is in a nutshell, because I can talk for hours about it.
Thank you, Raluca. Margie, what are you doing with TD SYNNEX?
It's so nice to hear what Raluca is responsible for, because we as TD SYNNEX, as a global IT distributor, we work with companies like Raluca's just to make sure that we deliver such solutions to end client. So my role in TD SYNNEX is to work with our IT delivery companies, our IT specialists, to work with them, with the partners and with the clients, and to make sure that we jointly develop AI market. So what does that mean from a daily perspective? We work with a lot of different companies across Europe, and we make sure that partners are educated when it comes to any top-notch technologies available for AI solutions. We make sure that partners understand, they have the overview on what kind of solutions might be actually possible to implement and what might be needed from a client side. Clients across industries may and will have different needs, different business challenges. And so we'll make sure, we work with partners to make sure that they have all the knowledge, all the tools to talk to their clients about how to improve their businesses, how to make sure they can automate the right processes. And so it's from the education standpoint, from the enablement standpoint, from making together any activities, just to make sure that the market is well educated about AI and they know what potential AI may bring to the businesses.
Thank you, Margie. The goal of this webinar is to practically talk about how business will change with AI. But before that, before we go especially deeper into the AI and the workforce collaboration, I want to ask you one question. How you see the change in the environment, in the way your potential client sees you after ChatGPT was launched? Do you see this change? Do you see these questions, this potential clients who are asking, I want to do this, I want to have this in my my office? Raluca, do you see this change, that this product really revolutionized the way we look at AI nowadays?
Yes, it's exactly that, Anita. It's revolutionizing how AI is being seen. You know, with the pandemic, I feel that the market has been much more attentive to how they use technology into their daily business. So there was that moment in the businesses' lives when they did the exploration and the education in this sense. But now with ChatGPT, I think everything went a step further in the sense that the term of AI and what AI can actually do became much broadly known, you know, to the mass markets. And I think that's brilliant because I feel that this kind of education is something that maybe us as, you know, technology provider and AI tool provider, maybe it would take years to do, you know. So it actually, the launch of ChatGPT actually helped us accelerate this education and actually broaden the idea and the way people are seeing technology into their daily business and their daily jobs. And I think that's a major advantage.
So you are growing in the light of ChatGPT.
Yeah. I mean, what we've actually also have done was to link and to integrate our platform with the ChatGPT to give it a much more enterprise approach, because everyone knows ChatGPT from, let's say, personal space. You know, if you want, it's a much faster, let's say, Google. So whatever you want, you can ask ChatGPT. We've looked at it from the enterprise space. How can you actually use this into an enterprise environment? And this is something totally different.
Okay, thank you. Margie, how was it in your case? Do you see this change, this shift from I don't want AI, I don't understand it, for I want to use it, I want to have it with my team?
I do, and I can even say that I do see a lot of change from non-talking about AI at all, not even mentioning I don't want it, just not speaking about it, to let's talk about AI, or even more, I want AI at my company, which is also another topic, because then additional question arise, why would you need AI? And then additional questions appeared. But there is this huge shift that I think started back November 2022. And I think that definitely, I can't think of any other world that revolutionized our world from the individual perspective and also the business perspective. So what happened before ChatGPT or generative AI was introduced to the masses, that was something that only very specified and knowledgeable companies provided. And they were only able to reach a certain amount of clients because there was a lot of fear, lack of education, lack of understanding, a lot of ethics, a lot of legal questions, and they still are. But what happened when ChatGPT was introduced? We all started using that from our individual perspective. And all of us, we work in companies. So individual point of view, it's very often connected to the business perspective. And so now companies started really asking about AI solutions. Sometimes I think the hype is so big in the market that people are just hungry with the AI solutions in their company. Not necessarily that's always a need, and that's always a solution to a business challenge. But because it's just such a buzzword, it created just, this huge conversations, and it's pretty much everywhere. I can definitely see a really, really big hype and a lot of questions around it. And that is thanks to ChatGPT.
So let's go into more practical questions, because I have a bunch of them. So maybe let's start with how, in your opinion, AI can contribute practically to innovate within organization. How can we use AI to generate more ideas, new solutions, business plans? How can we apply solutions you are giving, producing into the market? Raluca, how it is with DRUID AI, and how do you see this change?
We've been seeing this constantly. We've seen this change, and we've seen this appetite from our customers in especially looking into better, making their internal processes much more efficient. So even though we're doing both internal processes and external processes, the internal part we actually saw taking a big, let's say, shift into how they do things. And we looked, and we have a lot of customers that started from making their employees' life easier. I mentioned earlier HR processes, whatever it's related to HR questions. Me as an employee or me as a manager of a team, you can get all this information via a chatbot. You want to do recruitment, because it's very challenging all the time, and the recruitment, especially if you're a large retailer, for example, that you're hiring at a larger scale, then it's much easier to involve a chatbot with AI to do the pre-screening process, the sorting of the CVs, to get all kinds of reports, because we're very familiar with Google Analytics, but basically what you can do now with platforms like ours and similar platforms is that you can actually get much more in-depth analytics on how your processes are performing. How is it, this kind of insight that you never had before. And especially in the relationship that you have with your customers, that's an insight that you never had. You know what the people maybe are looking for, but you don't actually know for sure. And everything that is, in the conversational history of a chatbot, that gives you a very in-depth understanding of this. And we've seen this with our customers, that they actually grew their business according to what their customers actually came and asked. I don't know, we want to see what type of subscriptions you're having to your products. Maybe I don't have as a business, but this is an idea that I can put into the stage. And I think this is where you actually see a very big impact.
Margie, how do you see how you can create new ideas with AI, or create new business plans, create new communication strategies?
So AI gives us this possibility to really analyze a large volume of data that we've never had before in a way that we're having right now. So Raluca touched this point already about automating processes, but I also wanted to maybe touch upon the products and the services that companies are providing. So what is currently the goal for companies? What they are looking for? They're looking for knowledge. They're looking for data. They want to know their clients. They want to know their customers, especially nowadays where the market is so competitive and there is really a lot of solutions in each and every topic. So the companies are actually searching for the way to know their clients, to know how they're doing, to know what clients think of them. And AI gives the possibility to really analyze all the data that company gather from different sources, internal, external, maybe social media, maybe third-party company, and really look into the client from a perspective of personalization. Before generative AI started to be so popular, they also had that possibility, but they usually grouped people. So they said, okay, so when it comes to women from the age of, I don't know, 20, 40, this is what they usually do. Or for men from 60 to 80, that's what they usually like. They weren't able to personalize that. And we all love when we are treated individually. So AI gives this possibility to companies to personalize this relationship. First of all, to know who is my client, who is Margie, and what she likes, what she uses, what she keeps buying, what she keeps watching. And so personalize the content or personalize the product for her. So first of all, AI enable innovation from a perspective of product, from a perspective of communication. But also it is a generator of new ideas because it also enable to see the market trends, to see the feedback when it comes to our companies. It also enable us during using natural language processing algorithms. AI can assist us in idea discovery. So we can together, as a team of AI and a human, identify new concepts, new suggestions. So that gives us a huge potential as human beings, even using the ChatGPT.
Okay, so when we think about using an implementation of these technologies, there are some challenges and opportunities for us to grow. Can you tell us about some, how can organization effectively navigate this change and how we can maximize the advantage of AI collaboration when you think about AI-human collaboration, how we can process this in a way that there won't be speculation that AI is taking our jobs. How can we run it in a way that it will go smoothly, even seamlessly? Margie, how it is in your case? How do you see this? How we can implement AI into organization that it works smoothly, smoothless?
So I think the biggest fear is when people have no knowledge, we don't know something, then we feel fear from something. In this case, it is AI. So to me, that's really important that when companies are implementing any AI solutions or they are thinking about implementing AI solutions, they are very transparent in communication to the whole company or to a specific business department that this solution includes. But it cannot be just executive decision, and it cannot be just, you know, the internal maybe data scientist team or the third party data scientist team and the executives and the directors, and that's it. It needs to go down to people who's going to use this application, because otherwise AI will just collect the dust and company may spend a lot of money on implementing the cutting edge technologies, but if people will not use it and will not be comfortable using it, then pretty much there is no positive impact for the company. So first of all, transparency, transparent communication. Just pretty much tell employees, like a family, explain why you do it. We're not doing that to lay off people. We're doing that just to make sure that we can either automate the processes that are just very easy, and we want our people to spend time on something more innovative, better. And so I think when people understand why there is decision of implementing AI, and they know how to use it, they know how to collaborate with that, they will. I think the negative part is that there is very often lack of this transparency. So I would say, to me, this is number one, very important.
Raluca, how to create the technology and implement technology that do not collect the dust? That's a really nice expression. So how do you do this? So clients or client teams will use it in a way that it will fully use the potential of what are you creating?
So we have, we've tried in a lot of ways, and I feel that now we have, in a way, the recipe of success for this kind of thing, because as you can imagine, doing AI as a business, this was the number one fear, and we understood actually two things. Any decision that is, and any technology that is taken from top to bottom, not bottom up, I think this is something that is making the difference between a successful implementation and not a very successful one. So that means that you don't want the technology to be imposed by top management, C-level, upon the people that will actually use the technology. But the people that will be using it need to see it as an important tool. And then with their feedback and their understanding of what the technology can actually do for them, that's when you actually involve the top management into making the final decision. Every time when we saw that it was something imposed, people let's say, biologically, in a way, anything that is imposed to them, they will reject. And secondly, what we're actually doing, and we're very lucky that our technology is so easy to use that we can actually do that. We involve them as much as possible in the whole process. We've actually added new skills into their CV, chatbot trainer, because this is how you want the people to be so passionate about this technology and the fact that they're having it and that they're using it. And it's actually, Margie pinpoint correctly a very good point, the fact that you want them to concentrate on what is actually valuable. Their value in the company is not to just do pivots in Excel, because that will never be something valuable in the company. It's all their thoughts, all the involvement that they have in the strategy of the business, how to actually grow the business. That's what we want to see with our employees, and we involve them. We give them free trainings after they we sign the partnership together. We give them free trainings so that they can actually do things by themselves. So they can actually add new features into the chatbot. And this is the beauty of what the DRUID is doing, is that you don't need IT skills because the platform is no code. So it's everything very visual. So it's a huge advantage into making this transition from a not so technical company to a AI-driven strategy.
Just recently, I read a report that it was probably done by McKinsey. He asked people about what do they know about AI, and most of the people said that 85% said that they want to learn more about AI, of course, But when they were asked, when do they use AI in work? They say, no, we are not using AI at the workplace. And it was, for them, it was surprise because it was so invisible. So let's talk about AI technologies and tools that can facilitate a collaboration between AI and human. Margie, can you tell us about technologies and tools? Of course, don't mention ChatGPT because I think everyone knows it at the moment.
Yeah, I think I think there's a lot of them, but what I find really I think quite easy to implement, and also tool that is really helpful, that are any kind of voice assistant, any kind of chatbots, not necessarily ChatGPT, but any kind of chatbots, any kind of virtual assistants, because these are the tools that really help, not only internally with the company, but also towards customers. There are a lot of cases when big companies like KLM, for example, I'm sure that everyone is familiar with that. They are using actually the chat natural language processed power chatbot that is even called Bluebot, and this chatbot is able to get any questions from clients and to answer that pretty much 24/7. These are the tools that not only help internally, but mostly they help outside in the customer. We need to remember that we were a little bit afraid, I think, as companies about this chatbots, because historically they had a pretty bad reputation. Sometimes they gave just a very simple question. Usually they didn't know pretty much anything. We really wanted to talk to the human beings. The human beings was not available, but that changed, and now they are really, really high quality. And so that helped company a lot. Chatbot is not getting sick. Chatbot can work 24/7. Chatbot, especially right now when we have generative AI that available for companies, is able to answer pretty much any questions that clients may have. So I think that entirely changed this customer communication, and this is, I think, main tool that I would say for companies to really consider if they are trying to implement any AI solution at first.
Okay. So still, when I call some companies and there is a chatbot, still I don't like them, honestly. I am one of them, especially, and I try to talk with a real human, but maybe I didn't have the opportunity to speak with a new version of this chatbots, because still
Exactly.
I don't find this really nice and pleasant and useful, just random questions. But my question is really specific, so I try to talk to humans. So I hope that there will be better chatbots here.
They are better.
Yeah. So tell us about them.
No, so I really would like you to test the chatbots that we're doing. We have because Margie mentioned about the natural language processing engine. We have done our own, so we have our proprietary NLP that we're using with our chatbots. So that increases a lot the accuracy of how they're actually answering. And I really want to tell you a very short but very funny story that I've recently heard from one of our customers. It's a customer from a very large bank here in Romania. And they were saying that, look, the best feedback that we received on the chatbot that we have implemented with you guys is that we got a call from someone, and they said, look, the interaction with your bank was absolutely perfect. And they wanted to, this was a process that they wanted to do internally to get feedback from the people that talked with the chatbot to get, okay, how was it? Was it helpful? Did you get all the information that you needed? And the people were saying, but I didn't talk with the chatbot. No, I talked with someone from your company and they solved my problem. I got all the information that I needed. So I've never talked with a chatbot, but these are all people that were targeted from the conversational history of the chatbot. So I feel we're getting there. We're getting to the point when the technology is so strong that people will not even know that they're talking with a virtual assistant, with a robot, and not a human being. So I think the technology has this power now.
I'm looking forward to it and to use it and to test it. So let's talk about the concept of augmented intelligence and AI and human collaboration. Margie, can you tell us more? How do you see this concept in practice? What does it mean for you? And how do you put this into place? How do you make it work?
Absolutely. That's a really fantastic question, because I love this subject, because I think this is the future of AI. This is really the future of AI. I don't really think that AI is going to overtake our world. I think we should be smart enough to start using AI as the tool that will augment us as human beings. So augment our intelligence. So basically, what is augmented intelligence? It's pretty much how the collaboration between AI and human being works in a day-to-day activities. So there are a lot of cases from different industries that are currently happening. In a healthcare, I can give you a couple of examples. There are already AI-powered diagnostic tools that can analyze medical images and patient data to provide more accurate and timely insight than the human being. As we all know, healthcare, it has a lot of issue over the countries in Europe. So this time that really matters is really important. And so AI can not only analyze better medical images and spot if there is something wrong. It's been proven that AI-powered tools are able to spot cancer in a way more accurate than radiologists. Now, does that mean that radiologists would not exist anymore? No, they will. It's just this augment this work, and it's able to deliver more insights and more data that at the end, obviously, human needs to check, especially when it comes to healthcare. In manufacturing, it's been for a really long time when robots were working together alongside with human workers in a factory floors, for example. We call them collaborative robots or co-robots, and they can assist in either assembly some tasks. Imagine that something is super heavy, or there is really dangerous situation, maybe in military. There is a dangerous situation we would rather not send human being. We're using robots for such either heavy works or dangerous works. But at the same time, we as human beings, we are in the center. So we're just using the potential of AI. I recently talked to a guy who have a company back in Belgium, and they are doing the drone services for firefighters. So when there is a fire somewhere, they send a drone there. AI analyzes basically everything that is happening in the spot. So before they reach there, they know exactly, how many brigades they need to send them, what is happening there, how to make sure that people are safe. So that really, augment people's work. And just maybe to finish that sentence, I'm sure all of us used credit card or debit card today, maybe Visa, maybe MasterCard. So they use AI-powered algorithm to make sure that we are not robbed, that none of the transactions that are outside the pattern of ours are actually happening. And so there are a lot of AI-powered tools in the background, and we can talk to the bank, we can do our, daily or monthly transfers. We don't even know how many of this, fraud transfers happening, because the Visa or MasterCard, they don't even share that with us, because that's their job to stop it, to protect our account, to protect our money. So this is just a couple of examples in the industry, and I can go on. But I think this is a very important topic, and this is something that at least I would love to see in the future, that we really use the potential of AI to help ourselves, to make our work easier.
Raluca, and how do you see and understand augmented intelligence in practice?
Because I think Margie gave a lot of examples in a lot of different industries and use cases, and I think it is super relevant for the people that are watching us today, just to understand how technology can be involved. I just want to give one more example in the healthcare industry, because Margie also touched point on that. We've actually done since last year an integration for the biggest healthcare clinic that we have here in Romania. An integration with symptom checker. So basically, it's an AI-powered tool that is helping with the triage of the patients, because the clinic actually observed, and I'm very sure that this is not something that they're just experiencing, but all the let's say healthcare providers are experiencing the fact that patients don't know exactly how to correctly assess their disease, so that they know exactly where to book an appointment. And with this symptom checker we have integrated within our chatbot, you can actually just list all the symptoms that you're having. Where is the pain? How do you feel the pain? What history of other diseases you have? And the tool is actually giving with very high accuracy the probability of the let's say disease that you have, and where exactly to book your appointment. And this is just, imagine the impact that it has in the triage of these patients, because you will not have to reroute them once they come to the hospital, and you realize that the I don't know, headache that they're having is not the I don't know, OBG problem or something else, because and this is just an example of how you can actually integrate and make the lives of people better. Because in the end, I think that's the whole point of technology, and that's the beauty, and that's the reason why it evolved as quickly as it evolved. Just to imagine, we couldn't have this conversation now if it wasn't for the technology.
Yeah, absolutely. I must say that AI in health tech is something I'm strongly observing and keeping my finger crossed, because as you mentioned, when it comes to cancer, when it comes to some diseases that can be really fast and seen, and we can predict that there's something stronger, bigger, more dangerous happening soon, can really help and save our lives. But when you think about customer experience, because you mentioned chatbots, and I can totally agree that AI can help us personalize, make us feel special when it comes to running a business in a large scale. But despite chatbots, can you tell us about solutions that make us feel unique, make us feel that this is something done especially for you, but in fact it was used with AI technology to simply use in business to simply make us feel special? Raluca, can you tell us more about such solutions that are great for large scale of clients to feel them really unique? and special, especially for the business?
Yes, we do. We have it. This is not necessarily how we market it, but I think this is something that maybe we can work on, and I'll transmit it to our marketing team. But yes, for example, we're doing a lot of automation of the call centers, and you mentioned, Anita, earlier in this podcast, how frustrating it is to talk with a chatbot, or voice bot, or whatever it is. That doesn't necessarily understand your pain, or you talk frustrated and you write in the chatbot all the problems. You missed your flight and you had a very important meeting that you had to attend, and now you're missing this because the problems. And then the chatbot says, okay, I'll connect you to a human agent, and the human agent says, can you tell me your problem? But you already wrote, half a novel into the chatbot saying you're talking about your problem. So imagine how frustrated you get because of that. How we actually yeah, I mean, we've all been there at one point. So how we overcome this is that, first of all, we do a lot of automation of the call center agents. So besides the fact that when you're connected to the call center agent, the agent actually sees all the conversation that you had with the chatbot. So that's a huge advantage because you don't need to repeat yourself. So it does a summary. The chatbot does a summary of his conversation with the customer. So it says, okay, she missed her flight, so she needs a refund for her tickets. So the call center agent just says, Anita, I'm really sorry about your situation. Let me see what I can do to solve your problem. I've already requested the refund for the money that you paid. But also, and I'm coming back to the healthcare, let's say, industry, because that's where you want to feel very special, and that the people actually know all the history that you have. Whenever you're actually passed on to a human agent, the agent actually gets on half of their screen your patient file. So if you're saying, okay, I want to book an appointment for cardiology, the agent will actually ask you, Anita, do you still want with Dr. Smith? Because that's who you've seen the last time. And you feel that these people actually know you. This business is actually really taking into account your preferences, the way you want to be treated, all the things that are important to you.
But this is CRM, right?
Not necessarily. It's all the technologies that you're having in the company, but put in an omni-channel. Because what was happening in the past was that the call center agent, and especially think about the ones that are very new into the market. I'm sorry, because the sun is blinding me. The call center agents that are very new into the company, they don't have all the information. So maybe the accuracy that they're having into the way they're answering, or their knowledge on where to find in the CRM all this information, that's something that is always problematic. So with this integration with the chatbots, you're actually getting all the information put into one place and delivered much easily in front of the agents.
Okay, Margie, and how do you see this making us special with the AI technology? Can you share with us different examples of maybe some implementation you did for your clients that you did recently that makes us, that helps these big, huge businesses automate and make us feel great?
Sure. I think automation is a really, really important topic, especially nowadays when we're not just talking about automation or RPA, but we're talking about intelligent automation. So let's just imagine, and then I can give you actually the names of specific examples of a different kind. So let's just imagine we have an invoice that is being sent, or multiple invoices that are being sent on a daily basis to a company. And of course, what company needs to do, they need to take all the data from the invoice, they need to put them in a specific tools. Usually there are many tools. They need to have the data from the invoice. Then they need to make sure that they send back some information to the client saying, thank you for your invoice, we just paid, or are we going to pay, and so on and so forth. All this process that I just said can be absolutely automated. So you don't need a human being to handle such process. So as a company, the company can automatically come to your email address. The chatbot can actually get, the intelligent chatbot, AI powered, can get all the information from the invoice. Very important thing, the invoice may vary from one to another. So AI needs to kind of, I don't like this, but let me use it, be smart enough to know what field shows what data, and then it goes, all the data, all the information from the invoice, they go to a specific system, they are paid on time, then the client is being notified. All that process can be completely automated, and it's just one of the kind. But I think this is more for the companies internally than the individual, that you can feel that it's personalized. I think a very interesting example of how you can feel special as individual is anything that is being done either in retail or e-tail. So anything that we're doing with, shopping experiences. I'm not sure whether you've had a chance to try the Ray-Ban, so the glasses, they have this virtual try-in. So you can actually in real time, you don't have to take a picture. So you just look at the camera and you can try on any kind of glasses, for example. Mm-hmm. Or Zara
has something like this for the furniture.
Exactly. For the furniture is very much similar. So you can have actually a project of the furniture that you want, and you can kind of digitally put it in your space so you know how it's going to look like for your specific room. Or there is also introduced by Zara in a couple of stores, there is this what they call the magic mirror. So you can just stand in front of the mirror, you can choose whatever skirt or blouse you want, and you're gonna see how you're gonna look like just in the mirror. So this is how you can feel special, because they're not gonna just show you any blouse or any trousers. They're gonna show you the one that you like. If you just log in on your accounts, you're gonna see exactly the preferences that you have. You're gonna see the color that you like. And this is all because they know you as a person. And so another examples that we use on a daily basis, for sure, I'm not sure how many of you on this call is aware of that. Any application like Spotify, like Netflix, they use AI heavily just to make sure that you as a customer, you're happy with what you're watching, you're gonna get back to them, you're gonna extend your subscription, and they exactly recommend you the series, the movies that you might want. And I share account with another, let's say, age human being. So I have some kids on my accounts as well. So it really gives me very different suggestions to what I love to see, but only because it learns from what's being fed. So it learns from the past. So they see, okay, Margie liked cartoons, let's just offer her another cartoon. So basically,
Margie, I need to interrupt you.
Please.
To interrupt you. Have you seen the newest episode of Black Mirror? Joanne is awful.
Not yet.
Have you seen it? Okay, so definitely, please. I regret I didn't ask you about it before the webinar, because the first episode is about AI, about making new films based on our history and of what's happened into our life, almost in the real life. So there is a episode that there is a lady that she's watching her life, her stories almost in the real life in the Netflix, on the Netflix, Streamberry. There's the different name, but you can obviously see what's happening because of the artificial intelligence and that they are using to produce our stories into a story of the Netflix. So that's really creepy on one hand. On the other hand, this is about data, and that's why our this will be our last question, because almost maybe the one of the last one, because data is the fuel. The data is the gold of the AI. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, Margie, but I will give you to answer this question as the first person. How to collect this data in a good way, because I know, and this is something I ask my employees, friends, to be aware who is having your data. So because we don't know what other people are doing with it. So how can you collect the data and and use it in a way and utilize your customer data in a way that is legit, that is using in a good way, and still implement it in your AI?
So that's really interesting question, because 80% of AI projects fail, and just not to scare anyone, but let me explain why they fail. They fail because there is either no data or there is no good quality data. And so it's really crucial what data the company has in order to use them for AI projects. They can collect data from many different sources. In manufacturing, they can collect data using IoT devices, for example. So they can collect it from different machines, from people, from different places, additionally to what they have in the internal systems as well. In the finance companies, for example, or retail companies, we may have a lot of data from our internal tools, such ERP, such CRMs. We can collect also data from third-party companies, which are social media, for example. There is always this question, what data to collect and what data would I need for any of my AI project. And I think this is the key for companies to understand. I think GDPR also regulated a lot of questions, a lot of themes when it comes to data. So I think, and just one last sentence from me, just before we go ahead with any AI project, we need to make sure that, first of all, we have enough data for this specific project, and we need to make sure that the data is really good quality, because otherwise we're just gonna get an output from AI project, but it's not gonna increase any value for the company.
Raluca, when Margie started to speak, I saw that you started to smile. Do you have some experience connected with data collection?
No, she's perfectly right, and but I think where we have to take the data from, and I think that's the main challenge every time when we have these conversations with our customers, because I think that's the first question that they ask. Okay, but how do we actually do it? Okay, how do we train the chatbot? How will the chatbot know exactly where to connect? We actually managed to ease this process a lot. From the perspective of data, Margie said correctly, what we do is connecting our chatbot to all the business systems in the back. So wherever we have data sources, that's where we connect. Is it a CRM? Perfectly. Is it an ERP? Is it a SharePoint? Is it an Excel file? Is it a PDF? we read from all the documents, because we know no matter how much we talk about technology, we're all the time laughing that Excel is still our number one competitor in everything that is related to business. So we can talk for hours about AI, but Excel will always be the number one tool that will be used. So we said, okay, let's not fight it. Let's work with Excel. So we are connecting to in reading this all the information from there. So we unify all the data and we bring it into the chatbot. And also what we do, and you've opened this podcast on the GPT topic. The number one fear that the people are having in business in relation to ChatGPT is the security of their data. And it's a very real concern that they have. What we wanted to do in the integration between our platform and the GPT is that we actually contain all the data within our platform. So we give the security and the guarantee of the security of the data from our platform. Another thing that we're doing, the data that we're adding into training the chatbot is not going after to train the GPT model, which is the number one fear of the customers. We just use it to train the chatbot that we're integrating with. So this is something that is overcoming all the, let's say, concerns that the customers are having. And also what we have interesting and a way to actually be sure that the information that is given by our chatbots and the AI is actually accurate is that we are having within the platform a dashboard where it's actually doing a lot of analytics on how the chatbot is performing, what are the questions that he received that he did not answer. So we're not letting it auto-train, because we've seen, and I'm sure Margie knows a lot of examples on chatbots that were left to auto-train while in discussions with the people, and they turned out to become all very weird or be very racist, and you don't want that in a business environment. So these are the things that we are doing to actually improve the data that we're putting within our chatbots.
Thank you. Time flies so fast that we almost have to finish. So the last question, but it was really interesting, as I hope that you have the same feeling like me, that the time flying like straight away, just in a blink of an eye. So my last question will be, Margie, for you and for Raluca, and will be consist of two questions. So one thing is, when you think about AI, what do you expect to happen in the next year? So will be some changes in our behavior, maybe some new products, maybe some new solutions you are seeing based on your clients' questions, just randomly, and of course how people can find you. And Raluca, the same for you. How do you see the development of AI in the next year? And of course how people can find you. So Margie, can you start?
Sure. It's an interesting question, because just recently we had this discussion internally and we were just saying, okay, so we are at such a hype that probably for the a good next couple of months, we're just going to build on that. We're going to understand what actually happened, and we will try to, speed up the regulations. So then technology and regulation will be at the same level. And then someone says, but we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And then I was just thinking, that's so very true. From one night to another, ChatGPT has been introduced, and that completely changed our life for companies and individual. And I think we are just living in times that it's just so difficult to predict what's happening. For sure, I think for the next couple of months, we will build on what's already been introduced. And there is still a lot of questions from companies, how to really use this generative AI for their own use. And we talk a lot about it, but really when it comes to specific use cases, there's still a lot of questions. So I think we may be in a position to have what it is and really start utilizing that. But I mean, I don't know, maybe something else gonna be introduced in a week time. And what I really want when it comes to this human side is, first of all, just to make sure that as you mentioned, Black Mirror and other scientific movies, I think they created the world for us that we should be scared and, robots will come and just, kill us. But I really want for people to start playing with AI, even from this individual perspective, just to make sure they use it on a daily basis and they can see how this can enhance their work and their life. And just maybe one last comment. Do you remember, well, we don't remember here on the call, but many years back, everything in a kitchen for our grandmothers, grandfathers was manual. And then the kitchen robot was introduced. And then that completely changed the way we work in kitchen. So I think this is the kind of, way that really robots enhance everything that we do. And we just need to start playing with this.
Okay, so only the last part missed, how people can find you.
I work in TD SYNNEX, so I'm available pretty much on LinkedIn all the time. I have a lot of presence at many conferences, so I will be more than happy to connect with everyone on LinkedIn and then take it from there.
Super. Thank you. So Raluca, what is the future of AI for you?
Especially in the next year, we have, and this was, let's say, the goal that we're having in DRUID, and it was our goal from day one. So this is something that is the engine of everything that we're doing. We're all the time saying that we want to give a virtual assistant to each employee of the companies that we're working with and all the people in the world. Because I think this is the goal, to have a personal assistant, if you want, that is doing things for you. And this is exactly what the chatbot is doing. So we will be continuing our journey throughout making the people's lives much easier with our technology. And exactly how Margie was saying, nowadays you actually don't know what will happen tomorrow. And I think the last couple of years have very brutally showed us that, not only in technology, but in life as well. But I feel that we are on the right path to actually involve technology more and more in our lives. And I think this is something that we're striving for. And exactly like Margie was saying, we're business people, so LinkedIn is the number one way that we can get connected. And I would actually love to hear the people's thoughts about today's discussion and how they actually see AI. So I will be very happy to continue the discussions afterwards as well.
Okay, thank you, ladies, for being with us, for sharing your experience, sharing your thoughts, sharing your point of view, how AI will change the way we work, how to implement it in a way that it will work for us all. So thank you so much, and wish you a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.